Preparing. Now we're live.
It's another beautiful day in West Central Wisconsin. This is the Banging on the Drum podcast with your host, M-Dog, joined by my host in Florida, P-Dog.
Oh, we're barking still.
Yeah. So Rogers is going to be gone. The Badgers have missed the NCAA tournament. Marquette is elite. Bucks are dominant. Basically everything in Wisconsin sports is in the upside down. Let's get into it with our overs and unders for this week. How was your week, Pat?
So my week was pretty damn good. I don't got too much to complain about. I like the new rhythm of the show, throwing a little wrench there. But yeah, so I'll start with an under. So my biggest under of the week, I got two. So I think the biggest one is I have a cord in my car that I hook my phone up to, and then I can play stuff on my phone and it plays through my speaker. I don't have a fancy enough car yet to just Bluetooth into it. So I can Bluetooth call, but I can't Bluetooth my music. I can't Bluetooth, so I still need the cord. And I think my phone's getting old, and then my cord's definitely shot. So like when I turn corners, it like stops playing and stuff. And all I need is a new cord, but it'll probably take me way too long to get that new cord.
So what kind of phone do you have?
An iPhone something.
Doesn't matter. So if it's an iPhone, take a toothpick and clean out the charging port.
Oh.
A toothpick. Don't use metal. You got to use like a wooden toothpick.
I think I can pull that off. Yeah, you might be right.
So try that first. Disgusting. Yeah, like I've had mine for like 4 months, and there's like lint and shit in there already.
Yeah, no, maybe that'll fix it. So I'll probably do that after we're done recording tonight. See if that gets it. But yeah, pretty lame under on that part. And then my other under is you're in the little bracket thing that I'm into. It's not a bracket. I don't love talking about how my bracket's busted already because I'm pretty sure everybody's bracket's busted already. But
yeah, this is not a bracket, right? So this is like it's almost like a parlay over multiple days, a winner's parlay over multiple days.
Yeah, because you don't even need to pick against the spread.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good summary of what it is. But all I had to do was pick two teams today to win, and then I move on to the next day, and then whatever. Then you can't pick the same teams again. So there's strategy and stuff involved. But this was the first year, I think it's because Wisconsin missed the tournament, that I didn't get like frisky with it and try to like pick a 13 seed or a 12 seed. Or I'm like, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to use my big dogs right away. And then sure as shit, like before the tournament even started, Virginia loses to Furman, and I'm already out. But I did buy back in. I was so pissed. I've never bought back into it before, and I was so pissed because it happened so quick that I bought back in.
And now you got to hit 4 tomorrow, right?
4 tomorrow, and then apparently it's back to
normal. I was going to ask you about that because I got booted as well. So you took a 4 seed and got booted with Virginia, which I thought like that was going to be my initial strategy. Take 2 4 seeds, take the other 2 4 seeds. And I don't know exactly how the bracket plays out where like who, like if all 4 or 2 4 seeds go and then 2 4 seeds go, or if it's like 3 4 seeds on Thursday and then 1 on, because that's the way the 1 seeds are. So it's 3 today and then there's only 1 tomorrow for 1 seeds.
Yeah, that is interesting. You would think it would be like 2 2 2 2. I don't know.
That every seed has 2 games each day, right? That's what I would expect. But that's not the way it was. It's all comes down to where people got located for their region or whatever, I guess. So, but yeah, I got booted because I took Arizona, who shit the bed against Princeton, which really like I played it super safe. I took a 1 and a 2 thinking like if I don't get through, it'd be like a complete anomaly. And then I have to pick the wrong two or the wrong one, right? And I can't believe that's what happened to me.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised more.
Getting back in because I think that I can, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised more people didn't have Arizona. I mean, there was enough people that had Arizona. I think more got bounced with the Virginia pick, but I think that was more so because people didn't want to spend Arizona. So yeah, I mean, you just got royally screwed. Like there's nothing you can do about that. And I mean that's just
and
it's
like,
March Madness.
I should have just taken ones, like 2 1s, because I didn't think that would be an issue either, right? Like I thought my strategy for it was get through the weekend, right? If you just straight get through the weekend, you've eliminated the vast majority of people.
And I think that's the people who usually win it are the people who like don't try to get fancy with it. They stick to like picking their 1s and 2 seeds like early and then kind of got to battle it out later in the tournament. Because I think I've made it to past the first weekend once, and I was in good shape because I had I don't think I picked like higher than a 3 seed yet. So I had like all that, and I still didn't win. So, I mean, it doesn't pay. Like you'll figure out a way. And usually I'm bounced on the second day at the very least.
Yeah. And so like, yeah, I had like some pretty high hopes for my March Madness stuff, and like nothing's going right. I get in one with Omar, who's been on the show in the past, and like I only had 2 teams going today. They both fucking lost. So it is what it is. Marquette's going to win it all, so we're good.
Yeah, we'll see. So that'll be exciting to watch. I'm wearing my Marquette shirt today. I'll probably wear it again tomorrow just because I'm a scrub and I only have one Marquette thing. So that is what I'll be wearing today and tomorrow. But anyways, I'll get into my over quick and we'll get through it quick. So my over drill weekend was this past weekend. What day is it? Thursday? Dang.
Today is Thursday. Yeah, we've been off for 9 days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had the special that we kicked out. So
yeah, true.
But yeah, there's a lot of Wisconsin sports to catch up on. But anyways, long story short, I had missed the last drill because I had a party to attend or whatever. I like just wasn't there. So it's just nice getting back, seeing people I haven't seen in a long time. So good drill weekend. Got a lot of shit done. But that's all I got. Passing it to you. What you got, Mike?
All right. So I'm gonna kick her off with my unders. And I kind of mentioned it already. Did pretty dog shit with my March Madness stuff, right? So like I explained that a little bit already. And then I think my diet is making me fairly short with people, right? So I'm like get like a little snippy with them because I'm like hungry or whatever. And I haven't had a cheat day. So when I have my cheat days, I can deal with like the hunger through like a 6-day period, right? And not get short with people. But right now I'm probably going on, I don't know, like 25 days, right? So it's closer to 4 weeks than it is to, 1 week. And I just noticed at work a few times that patience got under my skin pretty bad. And I just snip back at him instead of like letting it roll off my back. I'm pretty good at letting it roll off my back usually, right? But last week did not go well, and I had to just like realize that.
Yeah, I feel like you're a fairly tough person to piss off in general. So
yeah, and if I do get
even your shortness probably isn't like that bad.
Well, I hope that's true. But even if I do get pissed off, it's generally not in front of someone else, right? Where like I might like come home and like smack up my wife a little bit, but like it's not the person that I'm actually angry at.
Yeah, give her a little 2-piece there.
No, but I might like complain to my wife about like the interactions, but I'm not gonna let that show between me and the other person generally. And then today I had the worst fast food experience of my life. Like this is probably pretty easily the worst time I've had going through a drive-through. So I get my mobile app out. I order Taco Bell, like probably 5 minutes before we get into Mauston, right? And I roll up to the window. They make me wait like 4 or 5 minutes at the thing just to say, "Oh, I have a mobile order," right? And just I can pull forward. They don't need to take anything from me. They just need to like understand that I have a mobile order. But they asked me to wait, so I wait. All right, whatever, no big deal. Ends up being 4 or 5 minutes. I get to the window. I wait for 4 or 5 minutes for them to do anything, and they come to the window and they say, "Oh, like we're having a few issues. You got to pull forward, right? And like just park." So then I park and I wait another 10 minutes for fast food, right? So like, all right, like shit's just going bad, but
Not
like,
fast anymore.
no, I could have went to fucking Denny's or something. I like really like I could have went to a sit down place, ate, you know, had dessert and got the fuck out of there. But so it took like 20 minutes to get through the Taco Bell drive through. So I take my bag, like the wife is with me. We're coming back from the state tournament. And so she's looking through the bag. Every item we ordered was wrong. Like it did like so we order like our tacos without lettuce for our kids and like shit like that. And like the thing that she had, she got it without the sauce that comes on it. Everything inside the bag was wrong. Every one of them. They didn't get one thing right. So we bought nachos too. They didn't even give us the fucking chips for the nachos. It was unbelievably bad. I couldn't believe it. And
Did
so
you
like
go back or anything like
no,
that?
because it took 20 fucking minutes to get through like just to talk to them. So we didn't even go back. We're just like, fuck it. We'll complain on the fucking app or something and be done. But I could not believe it. It was stunningly bad.
I think it compiles it because, like you said, you had stuff for the kids and stuff. When I go to
Yeah.
Taco Bell, like I just know stuff's gonna be shitty, but like if my wife's stuff's shitty, it's usually more of a problem than like when my stuff's shitty.
Of course. Like
So
I eat
yeah,
anything.
that
So
would
not right
compile
now.
it.
So I didn't order anything, right? But like everything that's in that bag, I don't give a fuck. I'll eat it. I got no problems. Right. So like I ordered
Wait, so you did
Chick-fil-A.
the whole thing and you didn't even get any food?
No, so like we're coming back from the state tournament. I'm waiting until I get home because I'm on this meat and veggie shit, so I'm not going to eat anything. And so like we sat there for fucking 20 minutes. My kids are in the back like bickering and like screaming,
Oh,
and
and
I'm
they
just
were
like,
with you and stuff.
yeah, and I'm like my brain is about ready to explode anyway. And so it was, and then so the other thing is I thought, okay, they got like 1 or 2 people inside this place, and they're just like a little bit busy. I roll up to the window so that like I get past the drive through, like, hey, I have a mobile order. That's it, And I get to the window thinking like there's only one person here trying to take all the orders and do all the food, right? There's 5 of them in there. There's 5 fucking people back there. Unbelievable. But I'm over it, I think.
Yeah, you
I'm
let it
over it.
out. Let it
We'll
out.
see. After a while, and then I go to so we go to Culver's because my one daughter wants something from Culver's, and we're like, all right, we'll do it. We'll go both places today. Culver's took like 2 minutes, like no time at all. It was like it was a perfect experience.
Yeah, I feel like Culver's is usually on top of it, but I mean, like it's understood at Culver's that you're probably gonna wait for
Right? Yeah.
for a little bit extra. So
I expect to wait when I'm at Culver's for sure.
yeah.
But that was my relatively rough ride home from.
Yeah, and you're
Boston.
driving back from Madison, I assume. You went up to the state tournament. Is
Yep.
this gonna be an over? You turn this into an over now?
No, so the over had already happened. So my nephew won. The West Salem stomped on it's some academy from the Milwaukee area.
Yeah, like Science Academy. Riley, our dog was texting with us about it. Some Milwaukee Science Academy.
All right. So from there we'll jump to running with the pack. How do you feel about the Rogers situation?
So I'm just glad it's over. That's That's my opinion. So I did today go back and watch some of the stuff from when he was on the McAfee show. And I don't know, tend to, I think I give people, so obviously I don't know Aaron Rodgers, but like I take what he says at face value. I know people like read into some of the shit that he's saying quite a bit more. And he is kind of like an interesting fella, like where he could probably have like, I don't know if I'd call it subliminal messages, but whatever. He just said what it was. Like he went into the darkness retreat expecting to think that he was going to want to retire. He came out of the darkness retreat and hears that there's rumors that, they're looking to move you more so than they're looking to keep you, which whatever. I think obviously he has access to the first sources or whatever you want to call them, like the first-hand sources, I guess. And apparently they told him, yeah, like we're looking to move you. And he was cool with it. He was like, well, I guess I still want to play. That's what I came out of this thing with. So yeah, now I just think if we get decent compensation, he's kind of doing us a favor on both ends of it. If he's leaving not disgruntled, not wanting to put a knife in our back, but who knows? Maybe he does. Like. But
So
I don't.
My estimation of what I've seen from Aaron Rodgers, not that like. I don't know if he wants to put a knife in our back, but I think he wants to prove us wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
do you know what I mean?
Who
Like,
wouldn't?
Oh, you want to move on, right? So, and I think he thinks the front office lied to him. Because the things I read is that they said something along the lines of, we want you to retire as a Green Bay Packer when he left. And then they started shopping him when he was in the darkness retreat. And that could have been like, it could have been like orchestrated by Gutekunst to do that shit. But like, I think people are more incompetent than they are malice, usually, right? So I try to look at most things in life through that lens. Like, are they like actively trying to piss me off, or are they just stupid? And most of the time, I think they're just stupid.
And I think you're right. And like Gutekunst could say that to Rodgers, not being not intentionally trying to lie. So I guess I'm just going to reiterate your point, but I think he could say it and mean it wholeheartedly. And then I think he could get people like breathing down his neck and being like, okay, like, sure, we're going to look in this up. Like, this is, taking a little bit longer than we expected. Because I'm pretty sure Rodgers was just like, yeah, I'm going to come back. I'm going to play 2 years. Like, I think we would have probably been shopping Love at that point. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think if you have 2 more years with Rodgers.
Yeah, then you don't know what you do with Love because you can't keep him under contract really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it would be tough. I guess I don't know what I think we should end up with him. I don't know if we need anything, and I might have touched on this on the last episode we did, but I'd be fine if what we had or what we got for Aaron Rodgers was 15 years of like MVP caliber play, and that was it. Like if he had just retired, I'd been fine with that. And if we decided, all right, we're just going to cut him and not get any compensation for him, like I don't like it, but I mean, it is what it is. We got the 15 years from him. That's what we wanted to some extent. Now, the fact that he costs us money moving forward, I don't like that. Right. And that's what I'd be seeking for in the trade, is to cost zero money to the Packers cap, if possible.
Yeah, and I heard somebody saying, like, I think it was actually on the McAfee show, like they were pretty like open about it, like whereas Stafford for Goff, like it's different because Goff was getting paid out the ass in LA. So like
Right.
the compensation for it was like, hey, we're gonna take on Goff's contract, and then here you get the picks. Maybe I'm saying that backwards, but no.
Yeah. So the Rams gave up a shitload of picks, and I think in that deal,
They
basically in
did.
order to
Yeah,
get
yeah, they did.
to get the contract off their books.
Exactly.
I
Okay.
think.
That's what
Yeah,
I
the
was trying
Rams
to
got the
that's what I
contract
was
off their
trying to
books.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I knew
But
where you were at with it. But yeah, there's a piece of that is that we're expecting them to take a contract and give us picks. And I don't know if that's like something that'll be doable. Um, and maybe we don't need him to take the contract either. Just end our contract with him after this year would be fine as well. Right? That everything
yeah.
gets loaded into that, but I don't know exactly how the contract stuff works. We need Basarski to come back.
Yeah.
Bass.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
we definitely should probably get him on again.
Or
But
Ken
yeah,
Ingles, right? He referenced Ken Ingles, and so did
Dusty.
Dusty. Yeah. And
Duster
so
the Buster. Two of our
uh
smarter guys we brought on before.
right. I don't know. What do you think we should be able to get for him?
So and yeah, I'm so bad at this shit. And it's probably bad for me to even like speak on it. But yeah, I would expect you to get something out of it. Whether I liked your suggestion of just having them eat the contract, but I don't know how that works. But I
Well, a
would
seventh
hope,
round pick and you eat the fucking contract, like we get a seventh round pick back and they just take the whole contract. If we could swing that and then open up whatever amount of money he had for free agency, but we already fucking pissed that away because a lot of the guys are already signed.
yeah. No, I have no clue. I'm kind of confused by it because I would say like if the contract stuff wasn't coming into play, Jets get 1 year of Aaron Rodgers. I would say that that's worth probably a first round pick, but at
Yeah. Oh, at
least
least.
like at least a second round pick because the Jets are kind of ready to win right now. I mean, they beat us last year. They have a good defense,
Their
and
defense is elite.
and if they just got a guy that's competent at quarterback, and then if Aaron Rodgers plays like he played 2 years ago when he didn't have a broken thumb,
Right.
they got a real shot to win it. Where I feel like do you remember what we got for Brett Favre? I don't even think it was shit. Like I think it was just like we got him to not go to the Vikings for a year.
It might have been 2 seconds or a second or something like that.
But
yeah, because we controlled where he went, right?
yeah, that was like more of the bonus with Brett. But yeah, no, I don't got much to add to it. I would assume that you get a first round pick out of the situation, but the contract stuff is above my head where I don't know what you could actually get on it. And I didn't look into it too much. If I had to summarize how I feel about the situation, I'm glad it's over. Like, I'm glad we know what the future is going forward for the most part. Watch something crazy happens and it's like, hey, we can't get a deal done with the Jets like Rodgers still here. But
yeah, and
but
so
yeah,
that'll be interesting if they can't get the deal with the Jets done. I do feel like that the Jets have more pressure to get that done than we do. But
it seems
I could
like
be
it.
I could be wrong on that front too. So
Yeah, because it's still Lamar Jackson's out in the open, but you need to give up like what he's got some special tag on him where you got to give up like 2 first round picks to get him.
And then the Ravens can match whatever offer you give to Lamar.
Yeah, so restricted free agent ish tag, I guess. But yeah, that's all I got on that stuff. Do you got any more?
No, so I mean, for me, like I said, I think the Jets are kind of on the hook on whether or not they get him, and the Packers should kind of hold pat.
Yep. Yep. That is where we're at. You're
All right,
leading
and
this whole. Okay. Good.
all righty. So we're going to jump into the NCAA tournament and see kind of what we got to this point. So we talked about it a little bit. We know that two fairly high seeds lost today. Virginia and Arizona both lost. Princeton beat Arizona, and who beat Virginia?
Furman.
Furman beats Virginia.
And it kind of pisses me off that. So Furman, I always liked Furman because the Packers had a backup quarterback from Furman. I can't remember his name, but
Engel?
Yeah, something like that. And he could run a little bit. It was like nice when I can't remember if he backed up Favre or Rodgers, but when they would go down in the video game, then you would put that guy in, and then you could actually like run with the quarterback.
Yeah, and he could scoot, right?
A little bit.
So we'll get into it. The only game that is left to be started yet starts in about 5-6 minutes. Is Penn State versus Texas A&M, 7-10 seed. So that one hasn't started yet. We'll get into the other finals right now. All right, so finals for today, we got Texas over Colgate. Northwestern beats Boise State. Duke beats Oral Roberts. Auburn beats Iowa. Arkansas beats Illinois. Princeton beats Arizona, as we mentioned. San Diego State beats Charleston. Alabama beats Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Kansas beats Howard. Missouri beats Utah State. Furman beats Virginia. And then Maryland beats West Virginia.
Did you write that all down, or are you looking at your phone?
So I'm looking at my phone. I wouldn't write it down.
Was that you were taking notes on it?
And so I lied to you too. It looks like UCLA and NC Asheville haven't started yet either, so I apologize. And then Houston is facing Northern Kentucky. Houston's up 9-8 right now, and Tennessee is facing Louisiana. It is 12-11.
Oh man, I hope Louisiana wins that one. And I think it's 11-15 right now.
Okay. Tennessee. Yeah. So just a quick update right there. So Pat's probably watching it, hoping for chaos in everyone's brackets.
Oh, I am. I just want the world to burn at this point. But yeah, I think the big takeaways from the tournament so far is just Furman pulling off that upset, and like the pass the dude on Virginia threw at the end of the game to like set up the shot. Did you get to see the end of that one yet?
No. So like I said, I was traveling pretty much all afternoon. So
yeah, no, you're good. But it was dog shit. Like he basically got trapped, and then he just tried to rip the ball. I think the guy who threw the pass like just assumed it was gonna like hit the floor and like bounce out of bounds, and then it wouldn't have been like such a big deal. Or maybe he thought he could throw it like far enough where it wouldn't, like the clock would run out like when it was out. But like it was like a perfect pass to a guy on Furman at half court. And he like threw it to the guy on the 3-point line, and the dude just hit the shot, and that was it. So, and I want to say Virginia. So I wasn't watching it live because I was tuned into another game. I want to say I was watching the Arkansas Illinois game, but that doesn't seem like the times matchup. I was watching. I can't remember what game I was watching. I want to say it was like an 8-9. So that could have been it. But I was just scoreboard watching. I was like, okay, Virginia's up 5 with like 30 seconds left. Like this one's probably over. And then I got a text that someone else had been knocked out of our little knockout pool. And I was like, that had to be Virginia. Like it had. And then sure as shit, like the game I'm watching like flips to it, and it's just a dude like ripping a ball down the court. I was like, that dipshit just got me kicked out so quickly.
I'm impressed that you were willing to buy back in though, Pat. Like I don't think I am going to do that.
No, I was just so pissed off. And I kind of like tomorrow's slate of games better. And we're gonna go over it a little bit. I think we're gonna throw a shotgun challenge at the end of this one. 100 bing bongs
per game.
Yeah, per game, whoever loses has a shotgun to something. Whether it's
Yeah,
a
we
Chevrolet-
gotta have something now that we just got fucking killed on our shit for the madness and the day one.
Yeah.
Kinda
So
angry,
we will have that, but I do like tomorrow's slate of games, and I already got my teams in. I really like Creighton, and that's because of remember how high I was on South Dakota State last year?
Oh yeah, yep.
And their boy that I was so high on, Baylor Shireman or whatever his name was,
Yep.
went to Creighton. And so this guy that's in whatever mid-major South Dakota and is just a star, like going off every game, goes to Creighton, and he's like a top 3 guy on their team, but he's probably the 3rd best guy on their team. So I assume if that guy switched teams, the 3rd guy on their team, like he's just a battle tested guy, and there's 2 guys that are better than him. I like Creighton. I liked it. And then the Big East was, I mean, I didn't pay too close of attention to college basketball this year other than Wisconsin, but the Big East was good this year. I mean,
They normally have Villanova that's good though too, right? And they didn't even make it.
Yeah, but like Marquette was
Xavier.
good this year. Providence, yeah. I mean, there's enough teams represent UConn, enough teams from the Big East that are represented in this tournament, and it's kind of Big Ten-esque, like where they were battle tested throughout the year. Like the Big East was good this year, and I mean the Big East is classically pretty good until like the whole football thing broke, and then it was just basketball
they were
schools like
very dominant when it was like the whole they had like 16 teams before anybody, and then they split because of football shit.
Yep. But yeah, I like tomorrow's slate, so I am gonna buy back. But yeah, that's all I got on it. The March Madness has begun. The madness is already here.
So Pat has to hit 4 of 4 games. He's got to hit a 4-game winners parlay tomorrow, and then he's got to hit another one on Saturday and another one on Sunday. Not 4 games, just one.
Back to
one,
2.
No, it's just one on Saturday and Sunday, right?
Oh,
One
you could
game?
be right. I need to reread the directions. I know the commissioner of that, Super Taster Mark, has been getting hit up with a bunch of stupid fucking questions, like left and right. He was getting so pissed. Like people were putting in teams that are playing tomorrow to him and stuff like that. And it just makes me happy. Like how hard it is to be a commissioner. So thank you, Mark, for doing it. But man, I enjoy your pain.
He needs to make an app so it's all done, right? So you can you only have the certain selections for this day.
Yeah, there's definitely. So it's like if you read the article, I'm pretty sure it's like a Bill Simmons original idea. It might be.
Yeah.
The article he sent out was like Bill Simmons made it.
Oh, so I've decided that we need to figure out a good one for next week for the Sweet 16 moving forward. So that's his little game that he plays, right? And so we need a good one for that moving forward. Just an oddball game.
I like that. I mean, I'm trying to think just off the top of my head. We got some time to think about it, but I can't think of anything good. But it would be nice, other than just betting money on the games, which is always makes every game much more fun.
Which is part of why March Madness is fun, is because you actually have stake in every game that's in there, because you do your pool or you do this thing that we're doing. And then there's a shitload of games going on. Actually, you could probably do basically a March Madness winners thing every week. There's probably 150 college basketball games every week, if not more.
But yeah, one idea I kind of want to do, and so we did the big bracket with our boys the wrestling bracket. So if you didn't listen to that one, go back and listen to that. It's a little long. So at the very least, put it on double speed. There's some funny shit that comes up in there. I really liked that episode.
Yeah, I listened to it today. No. Yeah, I think I finished it today, and so I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Some of the memories that you guys brought up, like I kind of wish I was like more into wrestling. And I didn't remember some of the stuff, but like it was just outlandish shit. Like someone having a baby hand with another person, and then
And so I
Undertaker.
remembered it after Garrett or like Mark said some of that stuff. And like, because my brain, I don't feel like works that, like, I remember like the most random shit, right? But like, if you ask me to like tell you what, and I was surprised those guys remembered all that stuff because I was probably like, they must have been like 10, less than 10. I bet you guys were like 7 or 8 at the time because you guys are 4 or 5 years younger than me. And like, I didn't remember a lot of that shit that I was watching. I was pretty invested in it.
Yeah, I was far from invested in it. I was always like a secondhand wrestling fan. Like if I was over at somebody's house that liked wrestling, like I would be like, all right, I'll play the video game. Like I'll watch like Raw with you or like
Yeah.
do something. But like my parents weren't like super strict, but there was some shit that they just didn't like in the house. And wrestling was definitely one of them. And then South Park was definitely one of them. So like when I watched those two things, it was like I was getting away with something.
Yeah.
But
Yes, I think if South Park, and I didn't watch a ton of South Park, which seems weird because that's something I would like to like start watching now and see like how all that shit progressed because it would be like a history lesson to some extent as well because
oh yeah,
they're kind of right on the times.
Oh yeah, current events. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
if you went back and watched like all the South Parks in order, yeah, it would be
Is
interesting. And the
is
guys are
that
fucking geniuses. They're like,
is that how I should teach my kids about the history from the early 2000s till today? It's just
I,
South Park episodes.
I don't think it's a bad idea because they're very smart. Nobody's safe. Like nobody's safe. There's like people who quit the show because I think the guy who voiced Chef was a
Was a
Scientologist.
Scientologist, yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't want that to get shit on, and they were just like, you can't. Like you can't
You
be a
can
part of
leave
this
if you'd
shit."
like,
Yeah.
but we're shitting on them.
Yeah. Oh, and like Catholics, I'm sure. Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah,
gotta have cat.
they got like hammered, like anybody. And yeah, if you do anything slightly wrong, yeah, you're gonna get hammered in that show.
Yeah, which is good. Like they're pretty equal opportunist, right?
I think so.
It
I
feels that way
don't
to me
know
as well.
what their bias would really be like, because I like even politically, like I'm sure I don't know when new South Park seasons run, but they'll shit on Obama as much as they'll shit on Trump, as much as they'll shit on like Biden.
Yeah.
Like if you do something stupid, or even if you don't do something stupid, like you're just like interesting.
Yeah, if you're in the public
gonna,
spotlight, you're
yeah,
done.
yeah. But yeah, that's that wrapping up the NCAA tournament. We got to come up with a Sweet 16. So the Elite Eight that I want to do, I don't know. Maybe
Oh, you
we
have
don't
an
have to do
Elite
this.
Eight already? All right, good.
Elite Eight idea, and I want to do NFL defenses because I think we could think of 8 because 2
Like all
definitely
time or
stand.
just like current?
So I kind of want to do it like with not current, all time. And when I say all time, from the time I existed, when everyone else started to exist, uh, till currently.
Okay.
So like the 85 Bears or whatever. I don't remember that defense, but I guess we could do that though. Like I think we've heard enough about that defense where we could do a little research to see, you know, who we think would line up against us. But I mean, if I had to rip my bias like right off the bat, is the Buccaneers defense of I want to say 2002, 2003. with
Oh
all
yeah,
those boys.
like your Warren Sapp. Who was the linebacker that was down there?
Derek Brooks,
Lynch.
Simeon Rice,
Yeah,
uh, Rondé Barber, Dexter Jackson.
yeah,
Like,
they're fucking ridiculous.
yeah. And if
But
you
like
look at,
you can do that with the Ravens kind of too, right?
yeah,
Of the same era.
and I think that ends up being in our championship with, I mean, we would probably throw the 96, 97 Packers into that shit. And then like the biases would really run rapid.
Oh
So
yeah,
we might need to discount that defense.
yeah.
But we
It's
might
gonna.
have to bring somebody else on the show as well to get a third voter. But I like that for the oh yeah, and Sweet 16 running back, Badgers running back. I like that. But
That was
anyways,
just
yeah,
an idea. We didn't have to talk about it today. Let's move on. Barking about the Bucks. Let's get into our Sweet 16 and our Elite Eight next week on like probably Thursday Thursday, and then we'll put out those two things. But we're gonna do a Sweet 16 and an Elite Eight coming up with the tournament. We'll try to run some stuff with the tournament.
I am up for. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Okay,
Right.
I like that. All right,
Where
you
we did our
ready to-
64 yesterday or 2 days ago, and now we're gonna run a 16 coming up next week. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we're
bark
not
about the
gonna-
Bucks. I'm gonna let Pat get into it.
All right, so since our last episode, Bucks are 4-1. The only loss coming at the hands of Golden State, and that was at Golden State. I did have a question about that. They moved from Oakland to San Francisco, right?
I just assumed they were still in the Oracle Arena, which was because I remember something like that being done.
Yeah, no, I think
Like
they moved into San
last game at
Francisco.
Oracle.
But yeah, whatever that
I'll take
is.
a look. You deal with this, and I'll take a look.
But yeah, so losing to Golden State without Giannis in Golden State, which I think we established is in San Francisco. But West Coast trip, pretty good record coming out of a West Coast trip. And the Bucks are 50-19 right now, and they're currently first place in the East. And that's with a 2.5 game lead. So we'll roll into the games really quick since our last episode. I am going to try to actually be quick with this stuff. So March 7th, they played the Orlando Magic in Orlando. They beat them 134-123. And that was with no Giannis, no Holiday. And the good note in that, Middleton, I think this is the first game he's played over 30 minutes since he's been hurt. But the biggest takeaway,
Let's go.
yeah, I know he's back full form. Biggest takeaway in this game is something I say every week, but this team is just so damn deep. No Giannis, no Holiday. Just handle Orlando, and just don't have an issue with it. Javon Carter steps up, has a huge game. Middleton was dropping dimes left and right. I think he finished the game with over 10 assists, probably 11. Lopez was Lopez on defense, blocking shots, and Bobby Porter was cleaning up the glass in those games. I'm just gonna do a quick look at the stats. I keep saying we're gonna do quick stuff, but yeah, in this one, it's got to be Middleton is getting the BJ. He had 11 assists, 24 points. Carter had 24 points in this game. Lopez had 26 points in this game. Portis had 16 points in this game. This team is just deep. It's stacked. And I guess before the end of this, you will understand that that's my main point. That this team is damn near a 4 seed without Giannis. And it's crazy. It's maybe the best Bucks team aside from. It's definitely the best Bucks team aside from the Ray Allen, Glenn Robinson, Sam Cassell, whatever. Tim Thomas Bucks. But yeah, then March 9th, we come back home. Bucks play the Nets in Milwaukee. Giannis is out again. Holiday's back. Yeah, the Bucks had 9 3-pointers in the first quarter. Put the pedal to the metal right away. Biggest takeaway of this game is the Nets actually played a pretty damn good game, shooting 39% from the field, 39% from three, and 100% from the free throw line, 17 for 17. And the Bucks still just handle them. A little bit closer, but they did have some guys play some pretty good games. But yeah, gonna pull it up here real quick. And I don't think my stats their bench went off in that game. But when I was watching it, I want to say something else was going on. Anyways, for the Bucks, Bobby Portis ties up the BJ battle. He has 28 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. Brook Lopez, though, might be in the conversation for this one. He had 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 blocks. So he was a block away from having a triple-double, having blocks be one of the double. But
he could have probably tried to like stat or pad that stat, right, or something like that. Like Giannis
that's a
rebound.
That's a tough one to pad, though.
Yeah, you got to get somebody else on board, probably, huh?
Yeah, you need the opportunity there. But let's roll into the loss real quick. So March 11th, Bucks go to, I think we established as San Francisco, and lose to the Warriors 116 to 125. Still no Giannis. That being said, the Warriors didn't have Pat Baldwin Jr. playing in this one, the old Milwaukee boy that went there. And
he isn't from Milwaukee, right? His dad coached at Milwaukee.
I think he's from Milwaukee because his dad coached at Milwaukee. So I think he was going to like Milwaukee high school while his dad was coaching in Milwaukee. But yeah, I guess I don't know where they're from that. But this game was amazing, front to back. All the stars showed up to play. I guess not Giannis, because Giannis was hurt, but the Bucks had this one in hand kind of towards the end of the fourth quarter, and then we just had 2 awful turnovers, one from Middleton and one from Holiday dribbling it off his shoe out of bounds. I mean, he kind of got like pushed, dribble out of bounds, and then it gave the Warriors a shot to tie the game, and then sure as shit, Steph Curry hit the shot to tie the game. Who would have guessed? And
Steph Curry.
Yeah. And then the Bucks just looked deflated from that point. And if you're paying attention to like where these guys are playing, so it went from Orlando to Milwaukee to San Francisco. So kind of all over the place. No Giannis. Still looked like they should have won this game, but the Warriors played their asses off, walk away with the W. Steph Curry had 36 points. Klay Thompson had 22 points. DiVincenzo was out for blood against the Bucks. I think he hit 6 threes, but I think at like one point he was like 4 from 4 from 3, so he kind of fell off there. As for the Bucks, though, the person that stood out to me in this one was Joe Ingles, who was 5 for 6 from 3 with 15 points and 7 assists. I guess that was it. But he's just like he did play over 30 minutes, but he was efficient. Like every time he touches the ball, he's like trying to drop a dime or hit a 3. But it was a good game. It's interesting. It was fun to watch for sure. But yeah, the Warriors were all there. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Looney, Poole, and it's a tough place to win when they're full. And like I said, we probably should have beat them without Giannis. So
Yeah, and they're not as good as they have been in the past, but they're still a plus team.
yeah, and I think so. They are 35-33 on the year, but they're 28-7 at home. So, I mean, it's still
Pretty dang good.
yeah, it's still ain't bad. And I think they're kind of surging at the right time. I didn't look at their recent history, but yeah, it's still a tough place to play. And I think it's going to be a tough place to play until Steph Curry's gone, Klay Thompson's gone, Draymond Green's gone. Like they're going to be fighting until the end. And it just gets loud as shit in there. Like you can hear it even when you're watching these games back. And another place that was real loud. So then they go to Sacramento. So make a short hop to Sacramento from there and take on the Kings. And the Kings came to play. Giannis was back though. We had the big fight at the end of the game, whatever you want to call it. Giannis was trying to dribble out the clock. DeAndre Fox kind of took exception to like the way he was doing it, which seemed kind of odd, but I'll throw it out there. I'm biased. It seemed like an odd thing to get upset about, but then Brook Lopez definitely took it to the next level, which it's nice to see that you got a guy like that that's not going to let anybody like fuck with your superstar with that for free with getting away with it.
Right.
But I mean, Giannis wasn't affected by what Fox did. And like I said, I guess it's nice to see that they have that fight in there. Like, and it was like a pretty contentious game. So Bucks started this one pretty slow. They were down at half, turned on the Jets in third quarter, went on a 10-0 run. And then the Bucks just like suffocate them at the end of the game. It's like Giannis absolutely goes off, 46 points. But then it's just like the guys just hitting shots. Like Sacramento thinks, hits a big three, gets back in it. Bucks come right back down the court, hit a three, take that three like right away. Like it is tough. My favorite nickname came out of this game though. Did you know they call Kevin Herter Red Velvet?
No, I did not. I didn't even know that person existed. So
Okay.
Kevin Herter, he's from the Kings.
Yeah, and he's pretty damn good apparently. So I've heard the name before. I don't know if I've seen him play before, but Fox had 35 points. Red Velvet had 28 points, and Sabonis had 23 points. So, their dudes went off to keep the game interesting, but Giannis has 46 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. Middleton had 31 points, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. And it's just tough to beat a fully healthy Bucks team. And then last game, Bucks beat the Suns 116-104. Suns don't have Durant. Bucks don't have Grayson Allen. This game was mostly Bucks the whole time. Till the third quarter, Suns go on a good run there. But then in the fourth quarter, with about 6 minutes left in the game, Bucks just take it over and run the Suns out of their own building. So what is that on the West Coast? So Suns, Kings, Warriors. So
and then Orlando, and the other one was at home.
Yeah. So I mean, they take 2 out of 3 heading out west, all against, I would say, plus teams: Suns, Kings this year, and Warriors. So 2-1 on the West Coast trip. You'll take it. Now they're back at home tonight against the Pacers.
Getting stomped.
They're getting beat up in that one pretty good.
They're down 16 with a couple minutes to go.
Yep, 133-120 on this thing. But
I got 136, so it's even worse than you think.
So yeah, you're ahead of me. But yeah, that's barking about the Bucks for you. It looks like we're gonna get an L against the Pacers. And I want to say I heard Jay Crowder and somebody else is out. It might be Lopez. Yeah. So I mean, if Lopez is out, that's big.
It's going to affect your defense for sure, at the very least, right?
But whatever. We'll go back and watch that one before the next episode. But that's all I got, Mike. That's all I got.
All right, so we're gonna be moving then to barking about the Badgers. Oh, and basically they shit the bed, having an opportunity to go in and beat. If you beat Ohio State and you play well with Michigan State, got an opportunity to get in. You probably got to win 2 games to get in, though. Iowa gets in at 19 wins. There's a few other teams. I know Iowa was right there because that was the one that surprised me. And I thought we had one more win than we actually did at the time. But you go in, you lose to Ohio State, essentially ending your opportunity at a real national championship game. And then we get put in the NIT, get matched up against Bradley. We go and face off with Bradley and really dominate the game. Crowell was just killing it. I want to say that he had, I don't remember the exact number of points, but 20 plus for sure.
Yeah, I think it was 36. I think it was like a record for a Badger in a postseason tournament, which I thought was kind of cheap to word it like that.
But yeah, so if you're not getting that in the NCAA tournament, I don't think that it really counts. And then they're playing Liberty on Sunday. I don't know what time that is, but nobody's going to blame you if you choose to watch the March Madness games instead of the Badger game.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely. Yeah, I didn't.
And Marquette plays on Sunday, I'm sure. So they play Friday. They're not going to fucking lose like fucking Arizona did. So they're going to play on Sunday.
They do play UVM, and I feel like it just sounds like a dangerous school. That sounds
so Vermont,
like
for a while there, Vermont was like kind of a giant killer. Not that they'd go very far, but they'd get 1 win every year or something.
Yeah. The Golden Eagles are 10.5 point favorites, minus 600 money line. So I think it's a safe bet to say Marquette's going to win.
So just so you're tracking, Arizona was 15.5 point favorites.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's March Madness, man. Anything can madness. Happen. And Vermont's a good team too. They're 14-2 in their conference, which I guess that doesn't say too much to you, but they're 23-10 overall. So they don't lose much. It's not a team that lucked in. They were in control of their own destiny and when their conference got in. So it's not a bad team, but like we were talking about earlier, Marquette won the Big East. They won the regular season Big East. They won the tournament of the Big East. They're good. They're a good team. So I think you're right. I think we could safely say that they are going to be playing on Sunday.
If they're not playing on Sunday either, then I'm really going to be super pissed about this whole.
Can you turn it on though? Can you? I honestly think my Marquette fandom has dropped off since we started this podcast. Just because we've had so much things that we like to dig into, and Marquette always had to take the back burner to it.
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed them growing up, kind of being the odd man out, and not everybody loves the Badgers. Everybody loves the Packers. I kind of liked how Marquette was kind of
unique.
Its own thing. But yeah, I think I watched one Marquette game this year. So
yeah, so I'm turning on my Marquette fandom due to the fact that the Badgers didn't even make it. If Marquette's a 2 seed and the Badgers are a 7, I'm still probably more invested in the Badgers than I am in Marquette.
Yeah. No,
which is kind of weird, but
I'll flip on the game tomorrow at 2:45 and I'll watch them play for 5 minutes. Yep, I've been here the whole time, guys. I'm a Marquette guy.
Start tweeting about them.
Yeah. Learn a couple players' names and I'm good to go.
I like it. I like it. All right, we're gonna take a sharp left turn and start driving fast and check in on Martin Truex Jr. here. So, NASCAR Cup at Phoenix was the last one. Will Byron won it second week in a row. He won a race, so he's won 2 races back-to-back weeks.
Damn.
Martin Truex Jr. not so hot. 17th this week. Step it up, Martin. I don't know where he's falling at in the chase right now. He was 5th last week, I think, is what I remember talking about. Do not think he led for any laps this week, but coming up Sunday, wherever they're racing at, he's going to kill it. Be just fine.
Now
get a win.
You're killing me now. I want to know where he is in the standings. Are we still?
Sorry.
So we're 8th. We're still 8th. So
all right,
we got 122 points.
Sitting pretty.
God, we need to get a NASCAR guy on that. So that William Byron, he's won 2 races, right?
Yeah, back-to-back weeks.
He only has 44 points in those 2 wins.
I don't understand how that's possible because I want to say he led for 164 laps.
Yeah, because Martin Truex Jr. has triple his points right now.
Yeah, I am now very confused about what gets points in the NASCAR racing and what doesn't.
You win 2 races back to back. And if he didn't have those wins, he would be in 30th place right now.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all to me. If you got to win,
there's only been 5 races, right? If that.
Yeah. So it started February 16th. Yeah, actually, it's probably been pretty damn close to 4 because it started February 16th and it's 28 days.
Yeah, it's 4 because only 2 other guys have wins. So Kyle Busch won 1, and then Ricky Stenhouse Jr. took home the
Daytona.
Took home Daytona year.
Huh. Yep. I don't get it. But what else you got for hot in the streets? So we'll put the turning left in the rear view mirror. Got anything exciting going on in the world of sports or pop culture or anything like that?
No, I mean, it's March Madness. We've hammered it. Aaron Rodgers news hits close to home. Other than that, I'm trying to think of any contracts signed or anybody moving teams. I don't know if you have anything hot in the streets. But
yeah, I got a couple things. Edwin Diaz, the closer for the Mets, got hurt. Celebrating. They won. He's celebrating. Has to get carried off the field because he got hurt.
Pulled
I didn't. It was
Martin Gramatica or Bill Gramatica. Or I think it was Martin
Gramaticas.
Martin Gramatica, I think did it. But yeah, I didn't see the clip.
So this kind of stuff that happened that we kind of covered earlier in the podcast as well was Lazard got signed by the Jets. So the Jets are prepping to have Aaron Rodgers there. John Morant is sitting at an 8-game suspension when it was originally a 2.
That ain't bad. It could have got worse.
And then it's Pat's favorite time of year.
Yeah, it's almost St. Patrick's Day, but yeah. All right, I got a couple now. You made me do it. So Colts agreed to deal with Gardner Minshew. That's hot.
There we go. Yep. Heineke's with Atlanta. Yeah, there's a lot of NFL news, so we will definitely not cover it all here today because a shitload of stuff already broke. You can always go check that stuff out. But Orlando Brown just got signed with the Bengals, I want to say. He went from the Chiefs to the Bengals. Really good, tackle. He's in his mid-20s.
Tanyan went to the Bears?
I did not.
Yeah, so I guess that's hot in the street. But it is one of those things that says sources say tight end Robert Tanyan, running back Deontay Foreman agree to 1-year deals with the Bears. So
I think that's probably pretty locked in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's on ESPN. But yeah, so it looks like we can go looking for a sexy tight end.
Yeah. I mean,
Robert Tonyan was kind of sexy, I will say.
yeah, but like
He's handsome.
Okay. So, but like he didn't do anything special for the Packers. Like he caught a lot of touchdown passes that one year. Mostly because I think teams were like, that's the guy we're going to leave open if we have to leave somebody open.
Yeah, he was he seemed very
opportunistic.
Well, he was opportunistic in that season, and then he was very inconsistent throughout the rest of his tenure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
I could go for the Packers drafting 2 or 3, not 3, 2 tight ends high. But I don't know that they will. You know what I mean? Like that seems pretty sketchy, but the tight end group does look okay. I do have a spicy pepperoni. Got one spicy pepperoni coming down the chute for a nice little treat.
Chew it up and spit it out.
So daylight savings time happened. Was that last weekend or the weekend before?
It was the last weekend. It was while I was at Jerome.
Okay, so here's the thing. Time in itself doesn't make any sense. I don't like anything that happens with time. Right? So like the way we track time, I hate it. So you're in a different time zone than me, right?
Yep.
So I don't think that makes sense. So like that you're an hour ahead of me and I'm an hour behind you. There's no reason that the sun has to come up for the same time for you that it does for me, right? So like the sun comes up for you at 6:30, so you got to be an hour ahead of me so that the sun can come up for me at 6:30. Why does that matter? It doesn't make any sense.
It is kind of stupid. You've heard of Zulu time though, right?
That's like a military, like the way they operate in the military, like it's just or
even pilots, like pilots that are going to be traveling time zone to time zone. It's usually in Zulu time. So I guess it is kind of, you'd be more used to it if you're in the military, especially if you're dealing with like aviation. But Zulu time, so I want to say we are minus 6 hours here. But anyways, it's the same time in Zulu. Like, so say it's 10:30 p.m. here right now.
Yep.
It's
still 10:30 p.m. here, though, too, right?
No,
like in Zulu.
Well, Zulu is, so I'm 6 hours behind Zulu. So whatever that would be. So.
Oh, okay, so
it would be tomorrow.
So it'd be 4:00 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. Zulu time. Okay, so Zulu time is 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
right now.
So it's 4:30 in the morning.
I'm gonna just I'm gonna set my clock so I'm 7 hours behind Zulu time, right? Because if you're 6, then I'm 7.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna set my clock to Zulu time in my office from now on.
Do it. So as weather forecasters, we have, because obviously we're dealing with aviation, like it's a big money maker. Like we always have a Zulu clock and then a normal clock. And a lot of times, like if you go to like a big enough place where you're forecasting for so many different areas of the world, because like obviously it still gets warmer and that's kind of the answer to your question is like, I guess it doesn't necessarily answer your question, but say the hottest time of the day is going to be, between 2 and 4 or something. Right around there, this usually. So it's nice to know, like, in Afghanistan, between 2 and 4 is going to be like the hottest time. So then we'll have a clock that says like Afghanistan or whatever.
Yeah, I got you.
Because like Zulu, it's like tough because everyone's perspective is on like a diurnal pattern or like a daily pattern. It's like, it's cold in the morning, cold at like midnight and stuff. So it's easier to do it. But I guess if you just did Zulu the whole time and you didn't ever bring up the other concepts of having like you and I needing to have the sunrise at the same time.
That's the way it feels to me, is that like that's the way it's set up, is that so everybody has the sunrise. Say the sunrise is at 6:30, right? That it's right around that the sun has to come up at 6:30. So if the sun comes up in Florida at 6:30, in Wisconsin at 6:30, that's when it's got to come up. So we got to set them back an hour. And I don't think that makes sense. Here's another little piece that I don't really understand. And I don't know if this is related to time or light, right? I'm not sure. So like maybe it's the same thing. But we as a society have decided that it is most beneficial for us to work in places that are artificially lit during the time that it is actually like the sun is shining outside, instead of like work when it's dark, especially in like the northern hemisphere, right? Where it's always like in Wisconsin, it's dark for like 15 hours a day. Right?
Yeah, in the winter.
Yeah, you get like 9 hours of, and so in the winter, we're working the 9 hours that it's light instead of the 9 hours that it's, or the 7 or 8 hours that it's dark. Doesn't make any sense to me. We get like 45 minutes on each end of our workday that it's still light outside.
I hated that, but
yeah,
I mean, it's what is it, like circadian rhythm or arcadian rhythm? Like,
yep.
So I do though, like I've worked night shifts for like significant amounts of time, and I fucking hate it. And it's bad for you. Like you don't sleep as good, you don't do shit as good. I'm gonna be going back to like where I was, and I'm just hoping I'm not on night shift the whole time.
So I don't.
I get what you're saying.
I don't think that like you want like a night shift where you're like the only time you're up is when it's dark, right? I think we should spend time, our free time, away from work, mostly outdoors. And so that would encourage that if we weren't working when it was light and warm outside.
I'll give you that ish. I'll give you that ish because
we've been conditioned to basically wake up with the sun, right? Conditioned to wake up with the sun and then go to bed maybe like 4 or 5 hours after the sun goes down in the winter time.
Yeah, right? I think there's studies that back up like why that's healthier, but I think it's like evolutionary where like that was beneficial to how humans live. Because if you're
the way we live currently doesn't make sense. Like, this is what I do. I wake up with the sun. So I see the sun just about starting to rise, and I walk into my office where I can't see the sun all fucking day.
Yeah. So, but I think why you do that is because 1,000 years ago or whatever, maybe a little bit further back than that, is you woke up to go start getting food and stuff because you could see then. Whereas at night you couldn't see shit, and then maybe there's other predators out, so you bunkered down for the night. And I think it will take a long time for it to be like, okay, now it's natural to be, a night owl.
And I think like what the way we should adjust is that we should wake up 5 hours earlier and go to work. Like, I don't know, what would that be? So like 1 o'clock in the morning, right? Not Zulu time, just Central Standard Time. But go to work at like midnight or 1, and then you finish your work day at like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Then you have 4 or 5 hours right there. Maybe that's a little bit too early, right? But you have 4 or 5 hours there, and then you get ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down because I need.
In the summer, I don't think it's that important, right? You have 5 hours of light at the end of your day. But in the winter, like I think that it would be beneficial to have the light at the end of your day.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. The only thing I want out of this, like when you're president and you get to change stuff.
Ooh, yeah. When I'm running Wilton and I decide to put them on Zulu time.
Yep. That's one of them.
About that. That's like the number one move.
Yeah. I just want sports games to start earlier. Just all around the whole country. So yeah,
Yeah, so
that would kind of go into your plan is you wake up earlier, so the games would be earlier. But
yeah,
then
so
I would
really
probably
games
wake
would
up earlier, so it would probably be later. Yeah.
no, so but games would happen during daylight almost all the time because we'd have a pretty much set standard that we're going to bed when it gets dark,
Yeah.
right? So I think that would be beneficial. That I don't know that we need to wake up when it becomes light, but I think we probably should go to bed when it gets dark.
All right. We're going to the spicy pepperoni scale. And I think with some of the nonsense and intricacies that this brings, I'm going to give you a 8.6 spicy pepperonis.
8.6, that's pretty good. I can deal with that.
Yeah, because I just think it's too much. It's too much work for too little of a reward.
No, we're just changing it. Zulu time it is. I'm gonna figure out what Zulu time is. Time
So
minus 7.
It's
No,
2:31. So I think they call it Greenwich Mean Time as well. It's 2:31 a.m. So right now, no, it definitely is. I'm Googling it. So
It's not
I could have
4?
been wrong.
Okay,
I could
I got
have
you. I got
been
you.
wrong about the offset time. So right now, we're going
2:31.
military time. I have 22:38. So yeah, the time switch messed with me. So I'm 4 off.
And I'm
And
5 off.
yes. Yep.
Okay, so
The time switch just changed that.
so I gotta move it forward 5 hours, my clock in my office.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If I remember I'm going to be pumped when I remember to do this. And then everybody's going to be like, is that the right time? I'll be like, that's Zulu time. So yes, it is a perfectly right time. But
Yep.
I'm excited about the Zulu time. I'm excited about the amount of pepperonis I got or the jalapenos I got for the pepperonis, right? Got some good heat today. So
Yeah. That was a
we're
little
going to move on.
spice.
We're going to do a bing bong challenge for the Friday games, slate of games in the NCAA tournament. All right. So first up, so we're going to do this pretty quick. I don't know that we'll have any type of graphic out or anything like that. You'll have to come back and just
We're not going to
re-listen
have a graphic off.
if you need to do something. Well, that depends on how much time I get over the weekend, but it'll be pretty much over. Yeah.
You got to have it out by tomorrow morning.
Or 11 o'clock or whatever, right? Yeah, you're probably right. Probably no graphic, sadly enough. All right. So anyway.
Hey, can we change it on the fly real quick?
Yeah.
Each of us pick 3 games.
All right.
No. We can pick them all. Let's pick them all.
So I just think this is pretty close to what we do for the NFL. We just pick all the games, but we're not going to explain why we're picking these teams. We're just going to pick against the spread each game. All right. So Marquette is a 10.5 point favorite against Vermont. I'm taking Marquette. Pat, are you taking Vermont or Marquette?
Marquette.
All right. So
I see how
and then we got USC versus Michigan State.
All right.
Who you taking,
I'm gonna go with USC.
All right, and I'm gonna take Michigan State in this one. Next up we got Kennesaw State versus Xavier. Who you taking, Pat?
Kennesaw State.
All right. So that's 12.5 is the line there. Did I mention that? I don't know if I did.
Yeah, Xavier's a 12.5 point favorite.
Yep. I'm gonna take Xavier. Let's see. So next up we got University of California.
Southern
SB.
Berkeley, we'll call it. University of Southern Berkeley.
Santa Barbara. It's Santa
Santa
Barbara.
Barbara.
Versus Baylor. Baylor's a 10.5-point favorite. I am going to take UCSB. Pat, who are you going to take?
I'm just going to contradict you. Baylor's going to whoop their ass.
All right. Next up, we got VCU versus St. Mary's. Pat, who are you going to take?
VCU.
St. Mary's is a 4.5-point favorite.
Yep.
So I'm gonna ride with you on this one and take VCU as well. Next up, we got Pittsburgh versus Iowa State. Iowa State is 4.5 points. I'm gonna take Iowa State. Pat, who you got?
I'll go ISU as well.
Next up, we got North Carolina State versus Creighton. Creighton is a 5.5-point favorite. Pat, who you got? Sorry,
Creighton.
This is brought. Oh,
That's
yeah,
my boy.
You're on Creighton pretty hard. I'm gonna roll with you because whatever his name is gonna knock down 7 threes tomorrow.
Baylor Shireman. Shireman.
Baylor Shireman. It'd be better if he was playing Baylor, but is what it is. All right, next up we got Iona versus UConn.
I'm going Iona plus 9.5. I will take.
I am going to take UConn. I feel like UConn is like a sleeper team. They almost beat Marquette we're not doing that. Farley Dickinson versus Kentucky. Kentucky
Wait,
is
no.
4.5.
I want you to get into that one a little bit because I think Iona has Louisville's old coach, guy that came down his leg, pervert guy. God damn.
Why can't we think of this guy's name? He's a classic coach. Like, was good forever. Was at Kentucky, went to the NBA, did terrible, came back to Louisville. Pitino,
yeah, Rick Pitino is at Iona. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
UConn's got his number. I can feel it in my bones.
Okay.
All right, just like I knew Arizona was going to win today. All right, next up we got Farley Dickinson versus Kentucky. I am going to take Kentucky. I just feel like I'm taking Kentucky minus 4.5.
All right, I'm taking Dick. I like the Dickinson in the name, so I'm taking Dickinson.
All right, next up we have Drake versus Miami. Miami is a 1.5-point favorite here.
Feels like a trap. I'm going with Drake.
Ooh, Drake, I like it. I was going to go with Drake because that's a Midwest school. So basically, the only reason I got. They're in Des Moines, I believe, right in that area. Grand Canyon versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga is a 15.5-point favorite here. I am going to take Gonzaga. Pat, who you got?
I'll take Gonzaga as well.
Next up, we got Florida Atlantic versus Memphis. Memphis is a 1.5-point favorite. Who you got, Pat?
Florida Atlantic. I feel like I'm getting trapped in some of these.
I'm taking Memphis. Montana State versus Kansas State. Kansas State is minus 8.5. I am taking K-State.
Give me K-State as well.
Kent State versus Indiana. Indiana is minus 4.5. I'm going to take Kent State in this one.
All right. I'll zag on you there. I'm taking Indiana with the ass whoop and take the alternate spread. Indiana by 10.
Indiana by 10. Is that the alternate spread? Is that our
super
boost of the week? Super boost of the week. Pat's super boost of the week.
Jack that bitch up.
All right. Last game of the I don't know if it's the last game of the day. Last game on our slate here. Arizona State versus TCU. TCU is minus 5.5. I'm going to take TCU here. Who you got, Pat?
Arizona State. ASU. But just because they whooped the shit out of the team in the playing game. I know we weren't putting points in, but I seen that and I was like, okay, maybe they're good.
Yeah. So
Probably
did we decide what we're going to shotgun? I'd rather stay away from soda, and I can do a beer after.
Yeah, but I think shotgun and one beer is too easy. So I think we should do by how many games the person wins is how many of the things you need to shotgun.
Shit.
So
I should have thought about this little bet a little bit more. 16 might be a little bit much for either of us. There's no way somebody gets them all right.
yeah.
And
No,
some of
and
them
I
are
mean,
even, right?
yeah. So
Uh,
like at the very most, I think someone would have a shotgun four of a certain substance.
we have definitely had weeks in the NFL where was not the case at all. Where you
Yeah.
were like up 800 and I was like down 600.
Yeah, that would be a bad week. So how about we cap it at a 6-pack?
All right. 6-pack it is.
And you can throw in a shot of some sort. If
I think that would make it worse, wouldn't it?
I mean, you'd be drunker, but it'd be easier.
So maybe how about we don't do a number on it, like a big number on it. Maybe just do like you have to do 3 shots to open the show just to see like what happens moving forward in that show.
Okay, 3 shots of whatever the potency of Jose Cuervo is, or better.
So I got like some shitty whiskey in the house. Will that be fine?
That works. Yeah,
Okay.
it just can't be like, I don't know, something like too tame or anything
Like
that.
Malibu or like pineapple or something.
Or yeah,
Like some
like,
type.
because Hennessy and Hypnotic, it can't be Hypnotic. It has to be more along the lines of Hennessy than Hypnotic.
Which I'm not sure. I've had some Hennessy in the past, but I've never realized that it wasn't like as much alcohol.
Hennessy is. I think Hennessy is the heavy hitter in that drink. Because they call it a Hulk. Because Hypnotic's very blue, and Hennessy's like whatever whiskey green. If you pour them together, it's crazy. It makes like the color of the Hulk.
Oh, interesting. So isn't Hennessy like
You
liquor
should
made
do
from
that for
grapes?
your kids' science experiment. Send them to school with a bottle of Hennessy and a bottle of Hypnotic and mix them together.
Yeah, this is how you make green. All right, so that's going to wrap us up for the day, guys. We really appreciate you guys listening. Like, subscribe, do whatever you're going to do. If you stumble across us, give us a like at the very least, or tell us that you hate us, but just engage it somehow and download it on all your devices, like I've said in the past, and then listen to it. Listening to it's good, right? Get some jokes out of it at the very least. So, what do you got for us, Pat?
Yeah, no, like Mike said, like, subscribe, download, share, do all that stuff. We love you guys. We appreciate the support. I think that's all I got. I mean, we're just going to keep getting better. I think we are progressing as a podcast. We're figuring out things a little at a time. Maybe we're slow, but we have heart. We're sticking around for the long haul. So, I mean, we'll figure it out eventually. So get on now. Say that you've been on the whole time. We'll give you it.
Yep.
Up to another year. And then if any of you guys are doubting, the Badgers, Marquette, the Packers.
Yes, thank you for putting Marquette in this time.
The Bucks, the Brewers. You can eat our shorts rolling.